Shots and shamelessness. Donna Tracy. It's a well-known fact that a hot single guy in his 30s is probably looking to settle down. So when Charlie Bingley, a hot single guy in his 30s, and the CEO of a vegan smoothie empire, moved into Netherfield, it's the big house down the road, it's no wonder really that Mum, with 5 unemployed daughters, still living at home, and the knowledge that our house was going to be given away to some rando whenever Dad decided to peg out, she kind of lost her shit. Get over there and talk to him about his smoothies, she squawked to Dad as he read his newspaper in the morning. What about whether to add spirulina, a NutriBullet, a Ninja, that kind of thing? Dad replied sarcastically. Oh, Mr. B! Don't act thick, you know what I mean? Get him chatting, get him over here for dinner so he can meet the girls. Mary yawned. I don't want to meet him. I'd rather have an early night with a good book than a man. Don't sweat it, Mare, he said. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you're going to get. Right, Lyd? Yeah, I winked. Jane sighed. It was the kind of sigh a kitten might do, if kittens sighed. I rolled my eyes at her, Lizzie tightened me. What? I snapped. God, Lizzie can be like so sanctimonious. Oh, I'm sorry, would you rather your sisters were all as obvious as you? Parading ourselves openly around in tiny skirts to be drooled over by any bloke that comes near us. Well, you might get some action if you did, I replied. She stuck her chest out. If we did, nobody'd look at you, Lydia. I lobbed a muffin at her head. She ducked, gave me the finger. I lunged across the table at her. Pack it in! Mum screeched. And we sat back and glared at each other. When Dad got up and went to his office to do some work. Mary sniffed, Katie giggled, and Jane sighed sadly. God, I'm so bored. I hate my life. A couple of days later, I was flicking through TikTok and Mum came flying in. He's having a party! A housewarming! Charlie Bingley at the Netherfield on Saturday and we're all invited! She literally looked like she might have a heart attack. Calm down, bro, I said. Though I was pretty excited, TBF. A party, even if the olds and my NPC sisters were going to be there. It's still a party, and Charlie Bingley wasn't going to be the only man there either. He must have like loads of rich, fit mates. I started looking for something to wear. And after like 2 mints, I knew I was going to need something new. So, and I knew with the chance of meeting an eligible man on the cards, Mum was going to drop that cash. Mary said she'd make do with what she had. There's no hope for that girl. But me, Jane, Lizzie and Kitty, we went Meriton for fresh fits for the next day. I've got this little black dress with a plunging neckline. It's giving Cruella. New clutch and heels. Lizzie gasped when she saw the price tag, but you get what you pay for, right? On Saturday night, we get all dolled up, with the obvious exception of Mary, who could not give us solitary shit yet. We all looked snatched as fuck. The Uber X dropped us off at the Netherfield at 7:30, and the minute we walked in the door, Lady Lucas was on us. She was being so extra. As usual, in a too tight, blue-green sequin dress with feathers up one arm. She's not an actual lady. We just call her that because of how bougie she was. Her outfit tonight was case in point. She looked like a fat chicken trying to be a peacock. She was was yapping about some guy Charlie had invited up from London. He's in finance, very rich. He's got a penthouse in Mayfair and a pile somewhere in Derbyshire. And she paused for full effect, like she was about to drop the Strictly results. He's single! Mum started hyperventilating. Show me, she breathed. And Lady L led her away, her sequin arse cheeks fighting like two chunky cats in a sack to give her all the hot tea. Lizzie wandered off to her bestie, Charlotte. Damn, she is so basic. She was dressed like she was a vicar's wife or something. Like, that girl needs a mad glow up if she's ever gonna pull a guy. Jane started giving like main character energy and zeroed in on Bingley. Good for her! If you want it, you gotta go after it, you know? I caught her watching him wash his Tesla the other day. His shirt was off. It was bare obvious she thought he was a meal, not a snack. And she looked about ready to take a bite. Mary got a book out and Kitty and I exchanged eye rolls and then sat down for a vibe check. Strategy. You've got to scope your moves in advance to maximise your opportunities. I had a quick swipe through Tinder, but he was dead. So I watched the door instead. When the place is packed, I made my move. I mogged every other girl in the room. Walked across the dance floor. The guy I was after was cute. Not the cutest guy in the room. You've got to leave yourself somewhere to go. And alphas like a chase, don't they? I flirted with him, leaned forward, and he could see right down my cleavage. Once I hooked him in, I moved on to the next one, and the next, until every man in the room was thirsty for me. Kitty trailed along behind, picking up my crumbs. And I don't mind, you know, she's family after all. Lord, up EP, I said to Kitty after a bit. Work in the room was exhausting, so we stopped to grab a drink. I passed Lizzie eyeing up some salty looking geezer in a work suit. I mean, come on. Who comes to a party in a work suit? I could have introduced her to like 20 better guys, but I couldn't be asked. We got some shots and sat down at the table with Mum. Enjoyed yourself? Dad asked. And I said we were. I'm having a jolly evening too, he said. Watching two of the silliest girls in the county flirting their way around the place. Oh, Dad! I couldn't get into it with him just then. I didn't want him to ruin everything. Lizzie came over and sat down between me and Kitty. She looked pissed. Sup? I asked her. See that boy over there? She pointed at the tall bloke and I nodded. He's called Darcy and he's a mate of Charlie Bingley's. He's something in hedge funds. Fucking loaded, apparently. He spent most of the evening standing there and looking at his phone on LinkedIn. So Charlie told him he should have a dance, but he said only Jane's hot enough for his taste and Charlie's already pulled her, and then he specifically said that I wasn't fit enough for him. Prick! I cried. Lizzie might be a pain in the arse, but she's still my big sis. I know, right? Hedge fund manager, merchant banker more like. We all burst out laughing. He looked over at us. Small dick energy, I mouthed at him, handing Lizzie a shot. We told Mum what he'd said. She was gagged for a minute, and then she started chatting shit about him. So loudly, he actually heard her. Lady L looked embarrassed, but she didn't stop. Mate, he was rattled. He stood there, shooting me and Lizzie dirties, but we laughed in his face. Just goes to show. You might be minted, but you can still be basic. A couple of hours later, we stumbled out the doorway of the Netherfield and into the cool midnight air. I reckon it had been a good night. I successfully flirted with every single man there. Kitty had got a few numbers, thanks to me. And even Mary managed to corner some poor bloke in red trousers and yap at him for half an hour. Though eavesdropping, I think it was about a miserable book. A little life. So I doubt we'll be seeing him again anytime soon. And as we stood there waiting for the ride, Dad nudged Mum and pointed up the pathway. I had to squint. Shots were kicking in and everything was a bit blurry. But as things came into focus, I realised I was looking at Jane and Charlie making out like a pair of 15-year-olds. Tongues and everything. His hand was down her top, hers was cupping his arse. Mum had her hands pressed to her breast and started crying. Dad put his arm round her shoulder. "It's all right," he crooned. "Everyone would have forgotten in the morning." "They bloody well won't," Mum replied, mascara running down her cheeks. "Where's Lady Lucas gone? Oh, she's got to see this!" She staggered off, unsteady in her 4-inch heels, looking like she was in danger of throwing her hip out. A movement caught my eye in the dark down the side of the house. I could just about make out another couple, silhouetted by a long roll of solar-powered torches on the pathway. Holy crap, I ain't really going at it. Whoever they were, I was just about to look away, but when they broke apart, I suddenly saw it was Buddy Boy, who dissed Lizzie, rude. Guess somebody was good enough for him after all. I nudged Dad and we were wondering who the poor cow was. My mouth dropped open. It could be. "Is that?" Dad said, his voice trailing off. "Lizzie?" I said. Plot twist. I don't know how many spritzers she'd had, but it must have been a fair few for her to get off with him. Felt like she sold herself a bit short there. TBF. But Mum was going to shit the bed when she heard about it. Just then Mum came back, leading a red-faced Mary along behind her. Found her in the loo with red trouser man. Can't think what she was getting up to in there. She chuckled. Mary groaned. "We were discussing neoliberalism, that's all. We just wanted a bit of privacy. He's a big fan of donut economics." Mum laughed. "So that's the kind of sweet talk you like, is it?" "Well, no judgment, man. Whatever floats your boat." Dad suppressed a laugh. "Did you get his number, though?" Mum whispered. Mary held up her phone. "Good girl." "Where's Kitty?" I asked, and Mum smiled. "She was slow dancing with that young vicar from Meryton last I saw her. He might be a man of God. Oh, but he's got a fine arse." Dad rolled his eyes. I looked around me. Lizzie necking with Darcy down the side of the house, Jane with her tongue down Charlie's throat by the carport, Kitty's getting it on with the vicar inside the bog, and even Mary managed to pull. My fam. I felt like we'd made an agreement to be as naughty as possible. We actually couldn't have played it any better. We understood the assignment. We sashayed, we slayed, and only I'd let the side down. I was the only one going home without a number, even after all of that work. Yeah, I was bummed. In desperation, I reopened Tinder. And there he was. Was that fate or something? He'd super liked me. Fit AF. A soldier with an aura that beamed off the screen at me. George, his name was. George W. I smiled, opened the chat box, and started to type.